Hello everyone and welcome back for the last time today. It all comes down to this.
It's been a very long journey.
This is the final match for the World Championship all ages bracket. Are you ready to do this with me one more time, partner?
I am ready. It's been a very long year. We've had World Championship qualifiers. We've had people acquiring points to qualify for the World Championship throughout the entire year at regional events. It's just been a really long and really amazing season of dueling, and I am ready to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, and so much has changed. If we look at where we came through the format, we had ABC, we had the Zodiac come in.
We still have
Invoked.
ABC.
Yeah.
Charlie Futch was destroying people left and right in the Dragon Duel.
Only losing to the eventual winner of that tournament
And
with the surprise Chainburn deck.
And the same person who defeated him back in the qualifiers.
Yeah, yes, back in the North American WCQ. Lifelong rivalry in the making right there. This match is the Dinosaur Mirror match. Is this the first time we're featuring the Dinosaur Mirror match?
I believe it is.
So, Jerome, walk me through this match. What are the things I should know and what are the things I should be aiming for my initial setup in this matchup?
Basically, you're going to want to do pretty much most of the same things that you were doing against anybody else. You like your Trishulas, you like your Enter Blathners in particular, and also True King of Plan Beasts is also pretty great as well. All of these cards are good against all of the decks, and that's part of why this deck is so strong. There is the entire decision on whether or not to play it. For example, North America team said, we're going to go with True Draco, the tried and tested, except for Roland Fang. And Roland Fang played Dinosaurs, and he's the only one who made top 8. Meanwhile, over in Japan and Singapore even, as we see right here, it was very clear from the start that Dinosaurs with Yang Zing and True Kings was the way to go here. And now these two have made it to the finals where they're going to take on each other, or these decks are going to take each other on one last time. So basically, you're going to want to do all the same things that you always do.
So you're pretty much just trying to establish your initial setup and then just ride that out.
Yeah, you want to basically get as many cards of your opponents to be useless as possible, or out of their hand in particular. So if you could do the Trishula Enter Blathner and wind up with a Yang Zing and the 9-pillar set.
Yeah.
So I mean, I believe you can do that. I think there's a play, but you need 2 babies for it.
Right, which is a dream, right? Where you have the True King and the 2 babies.
Yeah, it's like Enter Blathner, Yazi, 9 pillars, I think is the setup that ends there. But it's not super likely to happen. But if you can get that in the finals of the World Championship and take a game really quickly off the back of that play, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, well, we'll be crowning the first new world champion for, well, this will be in 3 years, right?
No, 2.
2 years. Oh, yeah, of course. So this is incredibly exciting. We'll see if the championship will be going back to Tsujimura, back to Japan, or if it'll be moving over to Singapore, Milton.
Very interesting matchup here. I don't think, I'm pretty sure we haven't seen it yet. So part of what makes a lot of these plays possible is the Synchro Monster Cloud Castle. It's a level 9 Synchro that when you Synchro Summon it, it can summon another level 9 monster back. So that's how you get your 2 level 9s to make the last, your rank 9 in this particular case. But I didn't see it in, actually didn't see it in all of the decks. It was definitely in all of the decks from Japan.
I have it in Tsujimura's deck.
Yeah.
So, based on how strong this initial setup is, would you argue that the dice roll is vitally important, or is this match able to play out? Can you go second against this deck?
You can, but you have to draw cards like Ash Blossom.
Okay, so you're pretty much dependent on your hand traps, which then leave you with your same 5 cards to combo.
Yeah, the hands are incredibly important here. And both of them are maxing out on Ash Blossom. That's great. Max C, also extremely good here.
Yeah, what's different about these decks compared to like the True Dracos? As we saw, there was a lot of digging in those decks, so there was lots of ways to get through the deck very quickly, drawing additional cards to correct poor hands. This deck doesn't really do that. I mean, it has the Fossil Digs and Terraformers, but it doesn't just acquire random cards.
No, the cards aren't random. That's the whole thing. It gets exactly the cards it needs between the baby dinosaurs, Fossil Dig, Terraforming, all that kind of stuff. Even Soul Eating Oviraptor can either act as a search, basically another Fossil Dig that can get even bigger monsters like Dogoran, or can send something to the graveyard. So it's either a starter or an extender, or basically anything you need it to be. Soul Eating Oviraptor really is, it's so crucial to this deck that if you don't ever see one, you could be in trouble, but the likelihood of that happening is so low because you've got 3 of them, you've got Fossil Digs, and you've got the 2 babies as well that you could destroy with a True King, you could destroy with Diagram. There's just so many ways to destroy these cards and get their effects.
Which then gets you started off into your initial setup,
Right.
which you can ride out.
It's just some of them are better than others, but like the absolute worst setup that isn't just a complete dead hand is something like Denlong with 9 pillars. And even that's really
not
good.
too bad, right?
Like, it's really bad in this match because after they bait out that 9 pillars, they're going to play all the rest of their cards. But against any other deck, it's still pretty good.
I mean, yeah, this is a very low trap match. Each player only playing 1 copy of 9 pillars. So, with the exception of the Cosmic Cyclones, you can pretty much ignore any back row in this matchup.
Pretty much. And you're going to know if it's 9 pillars or not.
You're going to see it, right?
Right. Is Tsujimura playing with Cosmic Cyclone?
He's got 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone.
Okay. No, it's over here as well. Couldn't read my own handwriting right there. But the Cosmic Cyclone's not particularly useful here unless... I mean, maybe you're going to get rid of Lost World with them, but Lost World in a mirror match is an entire rabbit hole of unpleasantness that I don't even want to go into. So hopefully we don't see too much of it. At least the first effect doesn't do anything, and the math is all the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just taking a look for this and seeing what we could, what you can make work with the Cosmic Cyclones, and there's really nothing to hit here unless you know where the pillars is.
Yeah, it looks like we are just about to get ready to go. You heard her at home.
3, 2, 1, go.
Follow along, please. Three,
2,
1, duel, start.
Let's hope these guys put on a show. This is the last time this weekend they're going to be shuffling up.
Well, it's going to be hard to top that Dragon Duel final.
Oh, that was tense. I wasn't even on the commentary desk. I was sat on the edge of my seat like, oh my, what's going to happen?
I'm pretty sure that Ryan Yu has the top 2 matches of the tournament. Maybe top 3, and Charlie Futch would have the other, where he had the Deco Talker into ABC, and then B-Buster Drake beatdown for an entire game. And he starts with Soul Eating Overraptor. That's always nice to see.
No
it's
counter.
A little tough having to use the normal summon this early. Normally you'd like to see Overraptor off of destroying a Baby Cerosaurus or a Petit Pteranodon.
So, based on how important this card is, would you consider using your Ash Blossom if you have it, or are you holding it for the Miscellaneous Source or something a little bit later?
The tricky thing with this particular play is that anything could happen. If they're normal summoning this, like, are they trying to just bait out the Ash Blossom, or do they really not have a True King? I would probably hold it for Miscellaneous Source. Is if you can stop any tuners from coming out, you've got a much better chance of being able to do your own combos.
And actually getting into the game with your opponent having minimum amounts of disruption.
Dragonic Diagram is next. Destroys the Baby Cerosaurus. Adds Lithosagem to his hand, and Baby Cerosaurus is going to activate its effect. And he's planning out his next move carefully. And there's a second Baby Cerosaurus. Now Baby Cerosaurus is going to destroy one and special summon the other. And that'll trigger the next Baby Cerosaurus as well.
Summoning a new dinosaur from the deck.
And there's Petit Pteranodon. That's 2 Earth monsters on the field, both of which will special summon again. Truth King Lithosagem the Disaster is next. It'll destroy both of those, and he's going to get to look into his opponent's extra deck. And this is why you absolutely cannot just play 1 copy of Denlong, because in a mirror match, this can and will happen. It'll happen very often, and you need to be able to still do something when it does.
This is one of the most interesting... I really like cards like this that actually cause you to consider things in the deck building process that they kind of set rules for you for the whole format. And in this case, it was your extra deck. If you are going to just take those tech pieces of removal or something, Lithosagem is going to just take them away from you. So you've got to really balance out and think out what's critical to your plan.
And then double up on it. So I think what he might do here is just try to take out the win conditions of the deck.
So what would you be removing in your case?
So removing a Denlong doesn't super help. So what I would do is try to take out Trishula, either one of the rank 9s or possibly all the Yang Zing other than Baxia. And it looks like he took out Trishula, Baxia, and Yazi. So basically, a card that's a combo, win condition, and combo extender. Another one that's basically the same, and Yasi, which is just incredibly good, and also a part of other combos.
And we're going to see this amazing turn 1 setup completely unimpeded. Based on the way Milton's got his cards face down and things he's already let happen, that strongly implies that he has no way of interacting with his opponent this turn.
Baxi in particular is so strong here because it's a non-destruction removal. Shoves everything right back into the deck. And gets you more special summons, and could even destroy a baby dinosaur to get even more special summons.
Or even Herald of the Light you can keep getting back, right?
You can. And he's got
4 banished.
Yeah, looks like he's going to get another copy of Miscellaneousaurus. There it is. And then we'll activate Denlong's effect to change its level. That'll get it down most likely to level 1. There it goes. Chiwen's in the graveyard. 4 + 4 + 1 is 9, and it's 2 non-tuner materials, and so he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing, and that is summoning Trishula. Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, hits the field, and its effect will be made in a chain with Denlong. Denlong can be Chainlink 2 here, so a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is of no help. So Annie is summoned.
We're going to take 2 cards at the end of this combo out of his hand, right?
Yes. He loses his own Swanny. And then he combines the 2. Now is he going to go Enterblathner or Calamities here?
Calamities could be super strong because if his opponent does manage to get any monsters on the field, he's got a diagram to get himself another True King, right? And then he can use his opponent's monsters?
Indeed he does. And in this case, did he already draw the 9 pillars? Does he have that as well?
I didn't catch if he searched for it. But either way, we should assume he has it now, right? Because he summoned the Denlong.
He's got the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, though. There it is. He's going to try to finish this in one blow. Sets 1 card, and since he searched Yangtzing Path, presumably that's one of the set cards, and 9 pillars would be the other.
Was it worth summoning the Tyranno here when you can't attack?
He can use its effect on either player's turn to flip everything down. It's a quick effect.
I'm just wondering, because he already had the Calamities to shut his opponent down pretty hard. Is it worth actually risking the Conductor Tyranno as well for the extra insurance policy? Well, I mean additional disruption.
I mean, what's he going to...
I guess, yeah, you're just risking it and just trying to summon it next turn.
No, it can activate its effect on his turn.
Yeah, no, I get that. I just wondered if it was necessary. That was my question.
Yeah, it essentially just ensures his win. Because what he can do is destroy his Swanny down there, and then bring out the Biana and Chiwen to get even more disruption. So it's effectively an extra negate.
Right, okay.
So I guess he didn't have 9 pillars. Unless he still has a card in hand.
If he had it, though, surely he would have said it, right?
Yes. Oh, no, he does have a card in hand. Okay. So, yeah, it must be the path in hand with 9 pillars set. Got it. Essentially, there's not a whole lot Milton can do at this point.
This is kind of the problem with if you get the setup on this deck and then trying to play into an opposing setup with this kind of heavy combo-based deck. It's your opponent is already trying to make sure you can't play, and then when play together as many combos as you need, and then when your opponent has the ability to restrict you from doing that, you're already going to be on the back. You're going to be on a massive disadvantage.
Yeah. So Ultimate Conductor Tyranno could send that straight to the graveyard.
He didn't add path. He added the no, he didn't add pillars. He added path, didn't he?
Yeah, he added path, and it's still in his hand there. And his draw for the turn appeared to be Ash Blossom. Goes ahead and activates Dragonic Diagram. You see pointed to Dragonic Diagram.
Guess he has to consider what he wants to destroy.
He does indeed activate and destroys Swanny. And it looks like he's looking for Agnemazud at the moment.
Milton is clearly not looking too impressed with this at all. I think
this is interesting. So he gets BN, but he didn't. Oh, he didn't activate Chiwen. That's interesting. I was thinking he might use Calamities to change all the monsters to fire. That might not quite work the way I think it does, though.
goes Path of the Yangzing. Shuffles back. Well, the reason you bring back his Shua is so he can resolve his Path of the Yangzing.
Ah, I see.
Because his extra deck zone is full as well, so it wasn't like he was going to be able to just make a synchro then make this play.
No, I was thinking he was going to change all of his monsters to be fire and then drop Agnemazud. Yeah, so the idea I had was that he would summon both monsters, use Calamities to change everything to fire, and then Agnemazud to banish that monster and just get in there for game.
Right, okay. He's still going to be able to press for a huge amount of damage this turn.
Indeed he can.
Miscellaneousaurus being banished.
Oh, so he can still do it. All right. Activates Agnemazud. Oh, he already has an Agnemazud in his hand. He doesn't need to do it. Okay. Well, he banishes that. Slaney's gone, and now he gets to add a card back, so he gets Lithosage him. Vanisher, once destroyed, you add a non-fire worm from your graveyard to your hand, and now he's got 33 plus 3,000 plus 29 on the field, which I believe is quite enough.
Enough to be pushing us quite into game 2 quite early. Okay, he still gets hand Max C, Ash Blossom.
And he had 9 pillars face down. There was absolutely nothing that Milton could do right there.
Yeah, the deck did exactly what it said on the tin.
Yep.
Turn one setup, ride it through to victory.
And it's not even that's exactly what the deck does in every matchup. It's not like he really changed there. It's just in this particular matchup, things like Agnemazud have greater value because all of your opponent's monsters that are on the field generally do something if they get destroyed. Maybe it's a baby dinosaur, maybe it's a Yangzing. So if you can just get rid of them altogether with Agnemazud's banishing effect, that's incredibly powerful, especially if you could destroy another True King.
Yeah. And you're taking there's so much damage you can throw at them in one short burst that even just a small window that you create, you can just take the game away from your opponent.
Yeah, an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is one of those things that's, I think it's really underrated.
I agree.
Back when the dinosaur deck first came out, people were building dino decks and not playing it.
Yeah, and I was shocked. It's like, but it eats their whole field.
Right, and you could use it on either player's turn, and it's gigantic. It's like, maybe that's why it never caught on. If people weren't playing one of the best monsters in the deck, I can't imagine that it would catch on.
Well, when I think the players in the TCG started playing it, it was pretty much widely accepted this is a deck that can only go first, and it can't do anything if it doesn't go first into your opponent's Zodiac setup or Masterpiece. And that was, I think, the conclusions players came to, because that was where the game was in the OCG. If players were looking at what was happening on the other side. But that's all theoretical. At the end of the day, we're seeing Yangzings sitting in the finals of the World Championship.
That's one of the great things about Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, though, is that you can just wipe everything out at once. As long as you can stay alive, you can wipe everything out at once. And the more copies you have of it, the better.
Considering the side decks here, Tsujimura has Solemn Strikes, Warnings, Dimensional Grounds, Kaijus, Skullmeisters, all of those likely to come in this matchup.
Yeah, the Skullmeister is incredibly good here. So much so that there was a mad scramble to get as many copies as possible on the Thursday of this trip by pretty much everybody.
I'm wondering why how the players could become to the World Championship and not have already decided they want it. They must have heard it and then went, this is the card for the weekend after they got here, right?
I think they thought everybody was going to play Draco.
Also, they assumed, yeah, okay, I'm not going to need this card. And then they get here and everyone's like, actually, dinosaurs.
Yeah, if there's a lot more Draco, maybe we're going to have to pick this up.
I don't even know if every duelist was successful in finding them.
No, not all of them were able to get them. Some people were using Ghost Reapers and Winter Cherries instead, and it's not quite as good.
Well, you got to make do with what you got.
Yep.
What are you looking at in Milton's side deck? What would you reckon be coming in from that?
Milton's side deck has a whole lot of the same. He's got the Skullmeisters in there, and he's got Forbidden Chalice, which could be kind of useful. But he's also got a couple trap cards in there that I wonder if we might see. He's got regular Mirror Force, but also Quaking Mirror Force.
Quaking Mirror Force is very, very powerful. We have seen that appearing in quite a few WCQ level decks.
So I don't know if he really wants this going first, because he's supposed to be spending all of his time comboing off here. So I don't know that we're going to see any Mirror Forces. Forbidden Chalice seems like it's good going first or second, though.
You can make it work. I think it's much better going second when you can just, when your opponent tries to Calamities you in your standby phase, you've got the immediate out to it.
Yeah, definitely. But it's not the worst card to have. It'd be better than, say,
Cosmic Cyclone, I guess.
Cosmic Cyclone. That would be the first thing that I drop and try to replace with a more useful quick play spell.
Yeah, no, that's something that you're actually going to do something with, because like the Cosmic Cyclones are then now only hitting the Solemn Strikes and Warnings if you assume your opponent's actually going to drop it.
And right now, in the base version of that, it only really hits field spells and 9 pillars, and 9 pillars are getting chained anyways. They've gotten what they want out of it.
Well, the duelists have side decked very quickly, so they're both very familiar with this particular matchup and have known exactly what's coming in, what's going out.
Indeed they are. So, Milton, who was first place at the end of Swiss, is now down 1 game to Tsujimura. Can he claw his way back into it, or is his time at the World Championship about to go extinct? The duelists are ready.
All right, let's see. Is this going to be a 2-0 to Ryosuke, Tsujimura, or will Shen-Fei Milton bring this back? Well, he's going with a normal summon this turn.
He starts with the Oviraptor.
Tsujimura just immediately allows this. Do you think that implies that he doesn't have the hand trap and he's like, yeah, just go ahead because he's already considered that this is fine? Or do you think he would just do that to be quick on the draw so his opponent doesn't suspect he has it?
All right, notice that he's stopping him here on Miscellaneousaurus before eventually eventing out. Go ahead. And the way he's shaking his head there, that's the first body language sign that I've seen that maybe he doesn't have much in the way of control of this game.
Yeah, he would have used one of his traps there, right? One of his hand traps if he had it.
Denlong also fine.
There's 9 pillars.
And now he's going to change its level. Sends Chiba into the graveyard.
Go all the way down to level 1.
Let's see how much of a follow-up he's got here. And it's just a set card and go. So Denlong 9 pillars. That's about the worst case scenario in which your hand doesn't do completely nothing. But still not the worst in the world.
I think Tsujimura's turn can be very strong here if he gets... Actually, it's just going to be difficult, right? Because the Denlong, when it gets destroyed, he can then search for Bian and get back the Chuin, right?
He can indeed.
And then makes Herald, and then he has 2 negates, essentially, that Tsujimura has to play through.
And one's indestructible by battle. That's the scariest thing. Like, when you make Denlong 9 pillars, that's still 2 negations.
That makes your opponent's 6-card hand really a 4-card hand.
Oh, and here we go. It's Lost World. Lost World reduces the attack points of non-dinosaur monsters by 500, but that's not why he's playing it.
And he doesn't chain the 9 pillars
That's interesting.
to the Cosmic Cyclone.
Well, he's still got a 2600 wall there. Actually, 2100 wall, because it does lose 500 from Lost World.
If Tsujimura didn't open many hand traps, he's probably got a lot of ways to combo off here.
Yeah.
And how many cards in your hand? Okay.
He's thinking hard on what to do here next. 2100, he can put a Jura Egg token on Milton's field if he summons a dinosaur. He activates True King Lithosagian, the disaster. What has he got? How many babies?
He's thinking about this for quite a while, so...
Yeah, it can't, it's not 2. It's Petite Pteranodon and Miscellaneousaurus. So 1 baby dinosaur, which means he gets to special summon a level 4 or higher monster from the deck.
Skullmeister.
Oh, or rather he does not. That is why Skullmeister is so darn good.
Skullmeister on the Baby Dragon is better than Skullmeister on the Miscellaneousaurus a little bit later.
Yeah, that's a little interesting to me, but I think it's because it's the level 4 or higher monster, and he's worried that something really nasty might make it out of the deck. Petite Pteranodon is a very interesting card, because it could get him to his own soul-eating Oviraptor.
And then he'd be able to start pushing out massive combos.
Right, so if you have the Lost World and soul-eating Oviraptor, and you can go after the token with its ability, since it can destroy any dinosaur that's level 4 or lower on the field.
Yeah, and you can go destroy something in your deck as well, right?
Right. That effectively gets you to more baby dinosaurs. It looked like he sends Petite Pteranodon to the graveyard with his own Oviraptor. Did he send that to the graveyard?
He's hovering something.
Yeah, he must have. I don't believe he's used its effect yet. So sends it to the graveyard and then banishes 2 dinosaurs. Did he add it to his hand?
Yeah, he added the Conductor Tyranno to his hand.
Okay. How'd the other Petite Pteranodon get to the graveyard?
Can Petite Pteranodon add cards to your hand at all? Just special summons, right?
Just special summons.
No, there's only 1 in there. Oh no, he does have the 2 in there.
Yeah, there's
as you
2.
said.
He's destroyed 1 Lithosagian. I wonder where the second one came from.
It's a good question. That might be what the judges are questioning right now, and Tsujimura is...
Did he send 1 to the graveyard
And then...
and add 1 to his hand?
It looks like that's what's happened.
Oh my goodness.
It's correctable though, right? This as an error?
As long as no additional information was gained, it should be.
Yeah, he revealed the card he added to his hand, and he revealed the card that he sent to the graveyard. Wait, have we missed something else? Because
Yes, the Oviraptor can't attack. Oviraptor can't
Oh,
attack.
that was
to
what
summon
it
the
was.
Petite Pteranodon.
so how did the mysterious Pteranodon get to the graveyard?
Maybe he was thinking. Maybe he already had the conductor Tyranno. He was just thinking of summoning it in main phase 2.
Right. Okay.
He's still thinking here.
Yeah, I guess he's deciding whether or not he wants to commit to an attack.
Well, he's also got a synchro play open because he has Jurak Aolo on the field. He's already attacked the token. So we've got to be in main phase 2 here. Yeah, he's just looking through his extra decks. This must be contemplating of his own extra deck. And it looks like they're clarifying right now what exactly happened here. It's a little hard to see from our vantage point whether he had... He must have attacked with the Jurak,
Yeah.
and then protected the token, sending it to the graveyard.
And the judges are discussing something. Not entirely sure what. That's one of the disadvantages to not being able to hear the table dialogue to figure out what's actually going on.
Yeah, it's got to be Lost World.
The card complicating the situation?
Yes. This is why I said at the beginning that it's a nightmare hole that you don't want to go down. Normal monster field will be destroyed by Valor card effect. You can destroy that many dinosaur-type monsters in your hand deck instead.
Well, things are looking pretty good for Tsujimura because he's got so many options available to what he wants to consolidate his resources into.
I'm thinking that we might have just missed the attack by the Jurak. And yes, we're getting confirmation that the second one is from Lost World.
Right, okay. Okay, so Ryo is back in the tank thinking about his play,
right.
from the looks of it.
It's in main phase 2 now. And now he destroys Baby Sarasaurus with Oviraptor. And special summons it back while activating its effect. And he summons another miscellaneous Saurus.
Here's a synchro for 5.
Makes his own Denlong. And I feel like this is going to go very poorly for Milton.
Yeah, Milton not really having the strongest of starts, even though he had the opening and his opponent had none of the counters. He was not able to capitalize on the window given to him.
I was going to shift the level down. And he goes for 3. That's because you got to play with 2, 3, and 4.
Miscellaneous Source? Nah,
No,
Ultimate
that's the
Conductor.
Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Activates its effect and destroys Baby Cerosaurus, turning the other monster face down. Summons another Baby Cerosaurus. And now he has his 2, 3, and 4 play.
And that's a back-breaking Trishula as well. That's going to be taking out a card from Milton's hand, graveyard, and field.
Absolutely devastating.
Trishula was always good back in the day, and it still is.
And the worst part for Milton is that he also has the other level 9 on the field.
So he can then take out another card from Milton's hand.
He can do that or Calamity up. Last time he went with Calamities, perhaps he will change his mind this time.
Oh, interesting. He's likes to get rid of the Overraptor instead of the Chewin in the graveyard. I guess he's just really not worried about that at this point.
Yeah, no, he needs to get rid of the dinosaurs.
To reduce the possibility his opponent has a Tyranno.
Right, because there are, yeah, that's basically it, is to stop Tyranno. And also note that he doesn't get the Denlong effect because it only activates if Denlong is face up when it leaves the field.
Right, okay. Which is why he uses Tyranno to flip the face down.
Right.
That's a real setup there. Even going second, wow.
This is just wildly unpleasant for Milton.
He's down so low on cards. 3-card hand. I mean, he's still got places he can go with that, right?
Yep, but he's got to somehow do it in the face of True King of all Calamities and Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. So remember, he's got that Yang Zing on the field still. He can just destroy it to flip everything down, assuming he can get past Calamities. And he immediately activates it.
Does the attribute matter at all? For what he calls?
It does. It depends specifically for the True Kings. For example, if he puts... Basically, it's what? Monsters in possession with that named attribute can't attack, right?
Or activate effects.
Can't attack or activate effects. So if he called, say, Earth, then Lithosagium couldn't activate because it's still in his possession in the hand.
Right.
So you would pick something that... Yeah, you'd probably pick Earth or Fire.
Tsujimura in the tank again. Milton just setting a spell trap and a monster. Fossil Dig. Milton visually deflated by that.
Yeah, that's just rough.
Overraptor number 2.
I mean, this isn't as rough as the Duel Links final.
Yeah, that was really bad for Tut Pup, but
that was really unfortunate. But this is pretty close.
Yep. There's the other Overraptor.
Summons it over there in the corner. Activates the Lost Worlds effect to give him another Juraic token. And at the same time, he's also going to use Overraptor's effect. And it does appear we've gotten confirmation that fire was the attribute called there. So he was trying to overcome Miscellaneous Source and Agonizid. Banishes 2 for Miscellaneous Saurus. Just going to go get another baby.
Maybe Source number 3.
And now he's thinking, how do I get through all of these life points in one turn? I'm not sure he quite has it.
I think he can secure this game down over 2 turns. Something would have to go really horribly wrong for him to not be able to do this. Even if he can't quite get it now.
It's a second Oviraptor. He's got no Link monster, so he's out of extra deck summons here. He's got Pillars with the Yang Zing still, so that's helpful.
So Milton has 1 card in hand, 2 cards on the field, and a Pillars to take out any card that would threaten him.
And he summons yet another Soul-Eating Oviraptor.
You said it was a pretty important card.
It's extremely important, yes.
And now there are 3 of them. He's got his whole little pack with him.
Can you see how important it is?
Yeah, you know, I think I needed to see it like 3 times just for it to sink in.
That's what they say. You've got to repeat it 3 times, and in this case, he's got to summon it 3 times. Goes for 1,000 there, another 1,000 there.
There's a handshake.
And everything else attacks.
And that's it.
Milton is done for.
Ryosuke Tsujimura, the world champion 2017. The first new world champion in more than 2 years. Wow. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
He's
Hector.
He can't believe it.
Hector's saving him. He's got him.
Oh, look out. The smoke's there. Don't fall into the smoke.
Yeah.
One-way ticket to the Shadow Realm. Don't go there.
That would have been a terrible shame. I've won the World Championships and I've fallen into the Shadow Realm. Don't worry, Hector on stage. He can't even believe it himself.
And really the difference there wasn't who went first, it was quality of hand.
Yeah, exactly as you said it would be. That's just incredible. What a way to end the season.
A long journey, but a swift finish.
Not as swift as Duel Links.
No.
But nonetheless, we have our 3 world champions for this year. I think he said something along the lines of, I did it, or something to that effect.
He sure did. And, yeah, it's really interesting. I'll tell you in a minute.
The home crowd ecstatic to see the new champion crowned. Very well played. Tsujimura.